Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. So today we're going to look at chapter 7, which is control structure, selection or branch. Let's look at what you will learn in this chapter. So you will learn more about the selective structure, which has been discussed in chapter 3.3. How to make decisions between two or more alternatives of the structured programming, how to use if and switch statements to select a statement group to execute. You will also learn how to trace an algorithm or program to verify the expectation result. Now let's look at the contents. We will look at introduction, the logical data and operators, the single selection if, the double selection if else, the multiple selection switch, a menu program, and we will finish with a summary. Now let's start with the introduction. So one important part of the structured programming constructs is selection. Now, since the computer programs must reflect the world in which they are designed to operate, they are also filled with choices and opportunities for decision making. Now, how are decisions made by a computer? As we know, it must be very simple, either true, represented by 1, or false, represented by 0. Now, if complex decisions are required, programmers have to reduce them into a simple decision that the computer can handle. Selection will be chosen based on conditions. Now, in C, generally there are 3 ways for selection structures in the form of statements. Now let's look at the first way, which is selection using if and else if, expanding if else, if, trailing else, and nested if. The second one is selection using conditional operators. And finally, the third one is selection using switch, case, and break. Now let's recall, in chapter 3.3, we have discussed a little bit about the control structures. Now here we see the figure. Okay, so we have control structures, and in control structures we have sequential structure, selective structure, and repetition structure. In selective structure, we have the single selection, which we use the if statement, the double selection, we use the if else statement, and finally the multiple selection using switch.